Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo, your host for this wonderful program, the HR Hotline. Good morning. It's a wonderful day. I just came from a webinar, this time for the Employers Confederation of the Philippines. It's the first day of a webinar on succession planning, succession management, and we are 35 in all, and there are around 6 presidents attending. Some of them are actually, I know them, and then around 10 senior HR leaders. That means that succession is now not a concern, but they are interested. It's being appreciated. But I told them that it is easier said than done because succession management is actually an integration of your talent management, and that is actually you have to review from your business continuity, strategic planning, workforce planning down to your learning and development or leadership development. So it is. I started early today. I have to let my pets go out as early as 7 o'clock, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. These are answered prayers uh, that I am blessed that I am working from home. Okay. Today we're going to discuss something that is really I've been into it lately because Dean Gloria Vacancy invited me to do series of talks to the hotel and restaurant students, graduates, and actually those working. And I told them about their careers. And also, I am very much engaged into to this industry. One is my sister is actually constructing a not so big 37 room hotel in Bicol. And one of my close friends, Cecil Aranes Terrible, is an executive of Balay Isabel. And how I really wish that the pandemic is over kasi I am one of those that really love going places, staying in hotels, or eating in restaurants. So this is what we're going to discuss. This very challenged, highly challenged industry. But I wish to know how is HR and how are the leaders faring? Remember the time that we were starting HR hotline? I have that definition of job fair. It's not actually the job fair wherein it's FAIR. It is a job fair, how you are faring with your job, which will give you opportunities to develop and be and move up in your career. So how are they faring? And then also, I'm just curious how because they're particular on it, how hotel actually instill the particular brand to their employees. Okay. That those simple questions. So I invited a somebody from PMAP. I met him recently because he's actually facilitating my mentorship sessions, and I find him that he is good, very good actually, very pleasing, and an HR person. He's a consistent leader from the allow me to read. He's a consistent leader from the academy to the workforce. Being a 4-year academic scholar of the Office of the Philippine President, we'll ask him about this. Through the Commission of Higher Education, he finished his bachelor degree of Hotel and Restaurant Management at San Sebastian College, Recoletos, Manila. Magna cum laude. Oy, kapareho ko ha. Kaya pala kalibel ko. Kalibel ko. He is now completing his graduate studies at the University of the Philippines Open University for Masters in Distance Education. He worked his way up in the hospitality industry, starting as a front desk, so he rose from the rank. Had a progressive career. Currently, is the senior manager for TQM and leading in development at Dusit, Thani, Manila. Cecil, I'm looking at this is live. That is why I can excuse me. Nakita ko si Cecil. I just mentioned you earlier. Ha? I just mentioned you earlier. Okay. And Gemma is also watching. And then, where are we? I'm now. Currently the senior manager for TQM and learning and development at Dusit, Thani, Manila. His efforts accorded him a recognition as the manager of the year for 2017 at the Dusit, Thani, Manila. I love Dusit. PMAP usually have their GMMs in Dusit. Before I think you were still a student then. I used to go to Dusit. What was the name of Dusit before? They have that concourse wherein there is that the Cruz brothers were singing. Oh, that was long time ago. Anyways, so Manager of the Year at Dusit as a nominee for managerial category for the prestigious Mabuhay Awards in 2019. Ay sayang kasi I used to be a judge in the Mabuhay Awards for three. For PSTD, for PMAP, and another for PMAP. And then that is actually a very tedious awards giving point. Participated by hotels and tourism enterprises nationwide. Today, he is a member of the Philippine Society for Talent Development and actively volunteering for the People Management Association of the Philippines as a vice chairman of the academic industry and the project champion of PMAP's virtual job fair, Sulong Pagbangon Tungong Tagumpay. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Gilbert Gatdula. We call him Gilbs.
Good afternoon.
Thank
Good
you
afternoon,
for
Mr. JC.
good afternoon. Thank you for gracing the HR hotline.
No, thank you for the opportunity to be your guest this
Yeah,
afternoon.
I can see that you are very much involved with PMAP's job fair. How is it now? Are there what do you call this? Demand and supply. Are there companies joining?
Yes, we have about a minimum of 10 companies who already signified their intention to join us. We have confirmed 3 webinars for our students, and we have 300 students registered for our virtual job fair that's happening on June 24.
We still have a month for that, and I'm very sure a lot of people will still be joining. Okay. By
Yes.
the way, let me cut because I can see Ian Kevin Balete. You know him?
Yes,
He,
he is my batchmate in the mentorship, in the lead.
he has he has been a student of mine. He's good. He's good. Nakita ko siya rito watching us. And also Gemma. Gemma is also watching us. Yeah. At mag-ingat tayo kasi si Ma'am Cecil Terrible of the Cafe of Balay Isabel is watching us. Anyway, so you're very much involved ngayon sa PMAP. What is
Yes,
this?
sir.
You're in the academy. So what do you do sa academy? What are your projects sa academy?
We had webinars. We arranged webinars for our students. We had one for St. Paul, wherein we discussed the idea of resilience to our grade 12 students. We are also networking with the schools for a visiting experts program, wherein we will help our psychology students on the trends, the latest trends in terms of HR and the best practices that we have right now. And our biggest project this year, the biggest virtual job fair that PMAP is organizing, happens on June 24. So that's open to all graduating students and job seekers. So yan po ang aming mga pinagkakaabalahan, Mr. Jesse.
Good, very good. Pero I don't know, Gibbs. I know somebody is taking charge of it. And another academe collaboration is the one of Teach, TEACH. Are you aware of that? That PMAP is doing?
Yes, yes. But I think that does not fall under academe industry.
That's,
We are
yes, Gibbs. Yes. He's
yes.
the one.
It's assigned to a different committee po. But of course, we extend our full support to the Teach program then.
Yeah. Kasi for the information of the viewers, yung Teach program ng PMAP is nice kasi we are actually collaborating with schools, those teaching human resource management are
Yes.
giving updates. Diba? Actually, it started during the time when I was president. It was one of my, and it's now being realized. Because, I used to teach Gibbs.
Yes.
And then sabi ko, the teachers sometimes are not practitioners. So they have to be updated on what is happening on ground.
Mm.
And BMAP is doing that. BMAP is doing that. Very good.
Yes.
Now let's go to our topic. Gibbs, I don't know if you know Andre Alip. Andre Alip of the Mabuhay Awards and ARM. Andre Alip. He is actually the human resource manager of Hotel One. No. What yung water H2O. H2O ba yan? The one in the one in
Yes.
Luneta. The one in Luneta.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's Hotel H2O po, beside Manila Ocean Park.
Yes, yes, he is also the one in charge of Manila Ocean Park. And then
Mm.
also, Dean Gloria Vacancy of the Army. They are the ones
Mm.
actually human resource for hotel and restaurant. So
Mhm.
recent, mga ano pa yan ha. Now, pero bang, the one really affected is your industry. And then of course, Cecil is listening to us, di ba? You know the story of Balay Isabel from a a, a world-class, first-class tourist destination resort. Hindi ko ma-afford yun na. Now, because of the pandemic, naging quarantine, naging isolation, yung changes. So nakita ko yung how it really affected the your industry. So tell us, chismoso kami. How was it? How is it? Ano yung nangyari nung yung pandemic sa Dusit, Thani, Manila? One of my favorite hotel. Hindi yan not pulling your leg. Not pulling your leg. Sige.
Um,
So anong nangyari? Anong mga nangyari? Yeah, I know you're still there.
yes. I'm still connected po. Dusit, Thani, Manila, or the hotel industry in general, we are centered here at the business district in Makati, and we cater business guests, meaning foreign guests. So we have Japanese guests, American guests, and Koreans. But with the closure of the border and with the strict implementation of our community quarantine, these types of travelers have been barred from entering the country, rather. So a great portion of our business was taken away. But what happened? Why were we able to stay afloat during this pandemic? Our management team was actually very creative because replacing the international guests, we now cater to the repatriated overseas Filipino workers. These Filipinos are coming back home so they can be with their family. And we are also catering to the shipping industry. So yung mga nagbabarko po, we welcome them for their mandatory quarantine. And these types of business help us to become viable and sustainable, at least during this time of the pandemic. Our restaurants changed some of our mechanisms. So you know that to-go foods or takeaway food is now the norm, the new norm. So we improved that, and then we had some other improvements in terms of our restaurant capacity, restaurant menus, just to tailor fit that experience based on the guidelines that were given to us by the government.
Wow. So that means kayo talaga yung industry na nag-innovate, nag-create, at nag-invent. Yun ang sinasabi ngayon doon sa mga usapan. Wow! So, how about the protocols? How about the people working, the employees working?
The government has been very generous in providing us with the protocols through the IATF guidelines. So the mandates such as wearing of face masks, face shields, and PPEs, like for example, our housekeeping associates, they were made to wear a gown, like a laboratory gown or a PPE, just to really be protected. And we are compliant in terms of the standards set by Department of Health and the standards set by the IATF. Just a fun fact, Mr. Jesse, we wanted to restore the confidence of our guests that we actually had an international certification for our company. We call it the COVID Clean Safe Hotels certification. So this is a certifying body that was actually imported from Switzerland, and he did his rounds here in the hotel just to really validate that we are compliant not just with the local guidelines but with the global standards of safety and health precautionary measures.
Actually, yan ang purpose nito. That's why I invited you. So that people will know how you are faring. So wala na yung mga uniform na nice uniforms kasi naka-gowns kayo ngayon.
No, sir. We have reduced because very grandiose. You said it yourself. Very grandiose at favorite po ninyong Dusit, Thani, Manila. We are the only traditional Thai hotel here in the Philippines. Our costumes, I wore it myself. Our uniforms were actually intricately Thai, but we had to reduce that, of course, because in the presence of the PPE now, it might be too inconvenient to wear silk underneath. So protection pa rin po ng guest ang ating iniisip. So we have reduced, but I can assure you na talagang magaganda, guwapo at compliant pa rin po tayo sa ating mga standards set by our local government units.
Pero definitely, Gilbs, walang mga yung mga big events, just like the
No.
GMS, PNP.
No.
So that is what actually your business is missing. So
Yeah.
may yung rooms, yung di ba, nandun pa, and then the restaurants are there. I don't know if you're going to share it with us. Nag-reduce ba kayo ng tao? Pero definitely yung banquet, wala sila, siyempre.
Yes.
Kasi, yes.
Yes. We implemented the special work arrangement, which is the skeleton workforce. So that's something that we have done even early on last year, 2020.
I see. Now, you are with the TQM and Learning and Development. What are those trainings that you do relevant to TQM? Or to TQM, then to COVID? What are the things that you do now?
I created the program, which we call the COVID-19 Prevention Program. So this is health and safety po talaga. Yan po kasi ang unang hahanapin ng guests. And even us, as internal customers, we wanted to be assured that everyone is in the same page in terms of cleanliness and being safe from COVID-19. So COVID-19 Prevention Program is a training that we've actually launched January of this year. And we had some pocket trainings that were conducted also online just to supplement this. We have also opened courses on mental health because we were made aware as HR that after the COVID-19 pandemic, mental health is the next pandemic. So we are also addressing that. So in terms of priority, these two are taking the forefront and the priority of our trainings for our colleagues.
So you do both training for your human resource, your employees, and for those who are your guests.
Yes.
Am I right? And what are these? You have a training. You have a training area for those who are coming in. You give a short what do you call this, orientation.
Yes. This is in partnership with the government, although of course social gatherings or mass gatherings are strictly prohibited. So this remains at the very minimum. Like it's shorter than a briefing. But for our colleagues, we have an online platform, the Learning Management System, or LMS, for some of you who are using it. So we are taking advantage of that.
I see. Now, my question is, diba, each hotel would like to show or manifest a brand. Diba? Okay, dun muna. Pre-COVID or ano, how do you do it? What are your strategies that as a learning and development senior manager, what are your strategies or the trainings that you do so that your people will really parang carry on, put into their system the Dusit Thani brand. Paano mo yung ginagawa?
Mr. Jesse, our lifeblood is actually gracious service. Although we know that Filipinos are hospitable by nature, Thais do it at a different level. I can say at an exponential level. So pre-COVID, we do trainings that will consider to engage all the senses. What will they see? What will they hear? What will they smell? Even the scents that we have even at our lobby, these are all from Thailand.
I
And
love it. I love it, Gibbs. Yan talaga ang gusto ko. Can you repeat
yes,
that? Di ba pagpasok mo sa Dusit, you can hear gongs or something, tapos may
yes,
may smell.
yes.
At PMAP nagsasabi niyan, sino bang taga PMAP na parating nagsasabi niyan? Si Miss Vilma Valera, sino pang makakasama ko diyan na sasabihin niyan, may smell. Si Ellen. Si Ellen parating nagsasabi niyan, si Ellen Polido. Just may naamoy ka ba? O sige, continue please. Sorry for interrupting you. So go back to your statement. How do you, ano yun?
It's really our signature scent. So I would have to agree with you, Mr. Jesse. That's lemongrass. So we import that from Thailand. And then our background music, these are Kim player. It's similar to a guitar, but it's actually just the traditional instrument of Thailand. And then we engage them too by our conversations and how we point or direct our guests by touch. So yan yung tinatawag po namin na senses or 5 touch points that we have for our guests. So seeing, hearing, smelling, feeling, and touching. So that's very consistent. How are we doing it now? We are doing it now on the spectrum of health and safety because I think for the most part, our guests would really, that's the basic requirement, health and safety. Is this pen sanitized? When I enter the lobby of Dusit, does it have UV rays as I enter? Am I sprayed with alcohol or something? So these are the things that we have placed and we ensure that is religiously done just to confirm and assure our guests that we are still gracious, but on the health and safety levels mandated by our local and global health organizations.
Wow. So you have training for that up to now. Kasi what you told us,
Yes,
this is a brand. How do you
yes.
actually parang brainwash? I don't know, that's not the
Mm.
right term. How do you actually teach this to
Mm.
your employees?
I'll use the word that the government is usually uttering, which is granular. Our approach in training is also granular. So the online learning will serve as an opening salvo to what is offered, for example, the COVID-19. So these are the protocols. These are what the Department of Health and World Health Organization is requiring of us. But on a granular level, this is supplemented within the department. So, for example, in housekeeping, they have this pre-shift briefings or briefings, as simply as it's termed. They discuss because we have post-COVID SOPs. We discuss this, we reinforce this, we role play this to our staff so that they know what to do. For example, what chemicals will be used to sanitize the surface? What chemicals will be used to clean this and clean that? So on a departmental level, this is actually reinforced. At pinag-uusapan po yan. This is initiated by our department heads, supplemented by our departmental trainers.
I see. And I'm very sure these are your employees who have been with Dusitani for the longest time.
Yes.
I know I know that you have there is what you call career, may career sa Dusitani. And then there is
Mm.
career in the hotel and restaurant industry. Okay,
Yes.
we'll have a break and then we come back. Gusto ko malaman yung the opportunities that people can have in the hotel and restaurant industry. Let's discuss it, and then basing it also from the opportunities that you have there in Dusit. Cecil, I know you're still there. Can you also join us and through the chat box? Can you tell us also what are the opportunities that people can have and join Balay Isabel? Kasi we are living into that. So, wonderful conversation. Nandito si Lay, Amizola Lim, our mentee is watching us. Nandiyan si Gemma Duque. At si Charisse, nandito rin. Okay. So, when we come back, we discuss that. Direct, can we have the first break? Reckon we have the poster that invites them to watch the TNC shows. TNC just celebrated its first year anniversary. So I'm inviting everybody to visit the page or to log onto the new channel, and you can watch the various TNC shows from the U-turn down to the talk, to Hours and Day, to the home buyer, to town hall, to one day. And don't forget every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, the HR hotline. Okay, Direct, and we can go back to our guest, Mr. Gibbs, Mr. Gilberto Gatdula. Yes. Oh, now Gibbs, still on Dusit, still on Dusit. Uh, so, ano yung I'm just kasi I've not been out there. And then are you in the hotel now?
Yes, I'm currently on site.
This is very personal. Baka mapaya ko. Can you tell me when you enter when you pagpasok mo dun sa lobby, what is the feel now of the hotel?
It feels different because our lobby used to be very busy. We have a foot traffic report that says how busy people were attending events. All of our restaurants are also at the ground floor, so we have our all-day dining, our Japanese restaurant, and our Thai restaurant. But this was reduced tremendously. So I feel a bit different. Until now, 1 year to the pandemic, I still feel different because the lobby is the place I'm really proud of in terms of this property. It's something that holds a very special place in my heart. But seeing it in a different light, I think it's just resting, but it will soon recover, just like our industry.
Paano yung mga tao, the ones who were still working there, yung mga room boys, yung mga waiters, ano ang feeling nila? Do you have, mag-chismis tayo. Ano, kumusta naman yung,
I think for the most part, there is an element of disengagement. There is the COVID scare. There is a feeling of uncertainty and anxiety. But what I love about our management team is that they have extended really great support. So, for example, in terms of engagement, employee engagement, we have migrated everything online. Our kamustahan, our events, purely online. And the checkbacks now with our colleagues are really intentional. Like, how are you? A simple how are you means a lot now to our colleagues.
very good. Yun ang gusto kong ma-share mo. Gusto ko ma-share mo talaga. Parang malaman namin na. Kasi, di ba, all of us are actually under the sense and we like to know what is actually. Next time, Gibbs, nag-iisip ako, I will try to invite HR of other industries so that you will actually know the feel. Okay. So, kumusta naman yung TQM mo? Di ba, you are the senior manager for TQM. Paano mo ginagawa yung TQM mo ngayon?
Early last year, this TQM had to take a step back because I was mainly focused on ISO certifications, getting approval from organizing bodies. But now, we feel that the industry, or in general, we are nearing the new normal. So as TQM, I am tasked to prepare this hotel to get again certifications. So we have a certification cooking up for DOT, because this is a DOT program and we want to be one of the preferred and one of the first hotels to comply with their Safe Seal program. And as mentioned last year, last quarter of last year, we got an international accolade or international certification, which is the COVID Clean Safe Hotels certification. We are also beginning to align, sir, our processes and standards kasi I need to check compliant ba yung mga colleagues natin dito sa mga post-COVID SOPs natin.
Very good, very good. You know what? I'm learning from you. Now, you mentioned about we are nearing the new normal. That is very positive. Now, ano ang opportunities dyan sa Dusit muna and for the industry?
To be candid and to be frank, in terms of my current organization, wala pa talagang opportunities. We are trying to utilize and maximize the current workforce that we have, but basing it from our sister properties. So these are the hotels in the provincial areas like villas and all. I think they are beginning to open up with the GCQ implementation. Villas are now opening up. Resort hotels are now opening up because I think na-miss ng mga tao talaga mag-travel. So they need people to welcome them back.
Yeah, Gibbs, I mentioned I was invited in an event for hotel and restaurant. In my research, we found that napaka-vast ng opportunities sa hotels. Kasi imagine, I found out that from cruises, yung barko, to
Yes.
resort, to even in being entrepreneurial of coming up with Bulacan suites, to hotels, to restaurants, to everything. So, ang laki ng opportunity. And there is this is not chismis. Now, when everything is back, the new normal, I think the government will be focusing on tourism and then the hotel, and kasi nga that is what is being missed. You're right. That is what is being missed. So I think for those people that actually hotel and restaurant students or even those that are nasa industry lang, there will be time will come na it will be the rising star of industries in the Philippines.
It's just a matter of time, Mr. Jesse. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So, ang tanong ko nga, paano yung mga ano mo, yung mga sa banquet, nasaan sila ngayon?
Our banquets team has been reduced and reassigned to task force jobs. So what we found essential departments, for example, housekeeping, restaurants, we have placed them there.
So nagano talagang total, ang dami talagang ginawa ng HR kasi it's actually reassigning people, diba?
Yes.
Teaching them no normal, and then nag-iba kayo ng costume, nag-iba kayo ng ano, so dami talagang ginawang. How about you? How about itong vaccination? Do you have any efforts for that?
Yes, we do have efforts. However, we are trying to reach out to the LGU first. Kasi ang hotel workers, especially for us, quarantine hotel, we are considered A4 priority. So that's something that we are working on para at least safe na ang ating mga hotel workers.
Yes. I can see Engineer Armalito Garcia. Mag-ready ka po, Engineer, kasi you'll be my next guest. Kasi I would like also to know what is happening sa construction industry. Kasi si Engineer may construction in. Yeah, you know that is isang ano ngayon ng HR hotline that we are still in this distance mode. People should know yung how you are faring. Now, so with that question, how are you faring as a senior manager in Dusit, and how are you faring in your life and in your career? Share with us.
Mr. Jesse, that's a very difficult question to answer. But
parang yan yung tanong kay Miss Mexico.
In terms of work first, I'd like to answer your question. I'm wearing different hats here in work. I am wearing a hat of a quality manager. I am wearing a hat of a learning and development manager and also an HR manager. So different, even safety manager, I'm taking it on kasi yan ang highest importance for our guests.
I'm clapping.
So,
I'm really proud of you, Gibbs. Apat na role. Now, how do you fare? Para tayong so, nasa 4, nasa 5, in a scale of 5, talagang perfect. How do you fare? How are you coping with all these things that it's happening?
I'll place a safe answer, an answer of 3. With the right support from my direct superiors, our HR manager, our general manager, I think I'm okay. I'm doing okay.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, that is your work. How about the say sa life at sa sige.
With our reduction on the operations or reduction in terms of work, I am able to study. I'm able to finish or complete my my graduate studies. So that's one. I get more time with my parents because I'm going home in our place in Cainta, Rizal. And actually, during this time, I find more balance between work and personal life. I get to tend to my pets, to plants, to bake some goodies. So in terms of personal life, there is a good balance between work and personal life.
Wow.
So if you're gonna ask me, Mr. Jesse, how would I fare my personal life? I'm giving it a 4.
Wow. Yan ang gusto kong dito sa HR hotline. Now, sa career naman, with PMO, sa tingin mo with your career, how is it? Because I know you're taking up, because sa UP Open, you're taking that. So, how do you fare naman on that aspect?
I think in terms of career, I'd like to give myself 3.5 to 4, Mr. Jesse. I've done things I have never done in HR. Ginawa ko siya during the pandemic. So, I think that's...
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to Gib. Can you repeat that? Ang ganda ng ating question. Repeat that, please.
Yes. I'm giving myself a 3.5 to 4 because I have done things I have never done in my work life or even in my personal life. So, ano yan eh, I just welcomed it with open arms. Pero I think for the most part, you really have to be adaptable to change, whether it's monitoring colleagues, whether it's talking about reorganization, whether it's a new training module, or whether it's a simple kamusta. Being intentional, having an adaptable mind is very important during this time. And looking back, naka 1 year na po pala. So,
You're so inspiring. And let's go to some details. Ano yung pinaka-challenging? 1 year and 2 months na eh. Ano yung pinaka-challenging as a senior manager and as an active member of team? Ano yung mga pinaka-challenging na nangyari dito sa pandemic with you?
Mr. Jesse, ang hotel and I think for all industries, we are reliant with IATF guidelines. If the nation or NCR plus is ECQ, we have to adjust operations. No restaurants, only takeaway. But if it's GCQ, it's different. So the uncertainties that really go with the government pronouncement, with the rise of the COVID cases, that is something that we find challenging to manage. But we are able to manage. It's just that these are variable units or variable factors that is totally out of our hands.
So, na-imagine kita, kung naghihintay kung every 15 and 30 kung magiging MECQ, ECQ, GCQ.
Yes. We have a chat group just for the leadership committee to discuss, okay, the president has spoken, GCQ, ECQ, MECQ, and then we adjust.
Exciting, wonderful. And then lahat kayo adjust kayo nun.
Yes, we had to because we want to be sustainable. We want to preserve jobs. That is the marching order of my boss, the general manager. We want to preserve jobs. We want to preserve the business. And I think for 1 year and 2 months, we are able to do that.
Wonderful. Just imagine that. Hindi ko ito na-plano na mga sinasagot mo sa akin, Gibbs, ha? Now, personally, ano mga challenges sa'yo? Sabi mo na uwi ka sa Kainta.
Yes.
Nag-drive ka? Anong mga experiences mo, mga challenges with the pandemic?
I'm Mr. Jesse noong ECQ. It's just very convenient to travel dahil walang mga sasakyan. We were provided with a company car to take us home. So, ngayong GCQ, nang may surge siya ng mga tao, doon lang mas nagkaka-challenge. But other than that, in terms of travel, I think very compliant naman sa protocols ang ating mga public transportations.
I see. So, if I ask you, what do we expect from Mr. Gatdula, say, after the new normal? Ano kaya ang plans mo or ano ang aspiration mo after the new normal? Para tayo Miss Universe?
Napabuntong hininga ako, Mr. Jesse. But I'd like to greet muna my former boss, Miss Marcia Garza. She has been telling me your name. Sabi niya, Jesse Rebustillo, magaling yan. Nakatatlong attend ako ng seminars niyan sa SMX daw siya before. So hi, watching from Calgary, Canada. To answer your question, I found value in supporting our future hoteliers. Now, they might feel discouraged that the hotel and tourism industry had a great effect or received a great impact from this pandemic, but I'm seeing myself engaged and encouraging our future hotelier and tourism workers that may magiging trabaho, kapit lang tayo dahil soon tourism will rise again. I think I'm also seeing myself in terms of dynamism of the learning and development in the coming years. There is an aching need to study e-learning, online learning, virtual reality. So these are the things that I wanted to explore. And then finally, as a people manager, I would like to be a manager who's known for empathy. I wanted to be kinder. I wanted to extend an intentional approach to the colleagues kahit sa organization man ako mapunta because COVID-19 is hard, but it gets bearable with good and great leaders and intentional leaders.
Okay. With that, manganganak yung question. Ano, so, ano yung competencies, ano yung qualities na na-feel mo nag-change ka? And then, I would like na, so that we can share this, pero di ba the future is now, so that we can share this to the hotels, particularly to the hotel industry, that these are the competencies or the qualities that they must develop now for the future. Ikaw muna, we start muna dun sa, ano mo, yung parang transition, ba ko from point A to point B. I know Mr. Gilbert Gatdula pre-COVID is already good, manya kumlade. Pero during the pandemic, ano yung na-develop, ano yung nakita mo na nag-change ka, and then you're trying to develop it, kasi you mentioned about mga distance, and then what are this na dapat na-share natin for the industry, kasi this will now be the future competencies of the industry. Please, Gibbs, share with us.
The first competency that I would like to share is something very familiar now to all of us, but I think during this time of the pandemic was heightened, and that competency is embracing change. Embracing change is really a challenge. How will you instill change management? How do you prepare for change management? So at all levels of the company, embracing change must be a central direction to which the colleagues will be goaling or endeavoring to. For myself, personally, I think technological savviness will really play an important role, not just for managers, but for everyone, because everything will be migrated online, whether it's teaching, meetings, conferences, and the like. Everything will be done online. And there are different platforms. There's Zoom, there's Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and what have you. But every person must be able to explore all these platforms, and being technologically savvy will help in that. So yan ang aking two things, two competencies, two generic competencies that must be the cornerstone and the foundation of a colleague's life.
Perfect talaga. Kasi now we can share this with people in your industry and other industries. Flexibility is actually the key. Flexibility is the new normal. Actually,
Yes.
pwedeng agility, di ba?
Yes.
That's one of embracing change.
Yes.
You know, when I was with Inquirer, Ma'am Sandy was actually instilling that to us. So if you were not appreciating it, Gibbs, it's only now that during the pandemic, oo nga talaga pala.
Yes.
That we really have to be agile, we really have to be, all the other things that goes along with it. We have to be resilient. Pero the core, you spot on, is actually that one of change management. Personal change muna siguro.
Yes,
Gibbs.
it's an intrinsic process po kasi. You have to convince yourself that you are ready for change. Kaya ko pa ba itong i-take sa plate ko? But when you're able to resolve that, and when you're able to have a self-awareness na you can do it, this is what you need to do, it just reverberates out of you na it echoes to the team and then to the organization, and you will be able to do it.
Kasi remember, you're changing your roles, you're changing your activities, you're changing the things that you do. So, ang mahirap niyan, if you are a very traditional, what do you call that, what is that thinking in the,
Silos.
silos, and hindi growth, di ba? Yung parang this is what my teachers taught me. This is how the way to mix the liquor. This is how to, nag-iba na nga nag-iba.
Yes.
So that change should be from within, and then it actually affects all especially in your industry, everything in the industry. Now that one, yung personal mo, spot on ka rin, ang galing mo talaga. That's one of technologically savvy, di ba? The savviness. Kasi 2016, when I was president of PIMAC, nag-Zoom na ako noon. Pero Parang ayaw. Pero everybody would not, they are not so comfortable with Zoom kasi mas gusto mag-meet kasi mag-order
Yes.
pagkain. Now, nangyari ito, so we really have to embrace it. Na rin
Mm.
talagang So, so with that as an ano, pwede nga gamitin ng kasi di ba sabi mo, in Dusit, lahat na kayo online?
Yes. Yes.
Yung
Everything's online.
paano yung ginagamit ng iba sa cellphone?
Yes. For our learning sessions, the learning management system can be accessed through phone, or they can attend the meetings through the use of their mobile phones.
So everybody talaga, totoo yun. Kasi if you would like to start as an entrepreneur and do online selling, say selling Bulacan sweets or pili nuts, dapat talaga you must be able to know how to sell online. Diba? And then
Yes.
how to collect and then be paid online. Doon ako
Mhm.
mahina, Gibbs. Gusto ang mahina ko talaga. So talaga yung being savvy. But siguro Gibbs, we should not really be afraid na the technology will replace us. Hindi naman siguro.
Yes, it will complement what we do. I've
Yeah.
always believed that it gives us the technology exponentially increases our capacity and capability as human beings. For example, an Excel file, you can do wonders with an Excel file.
Oo nga.
Imagine what else technology can give us or afford us if exploited correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, oo nga. Oo nga. So, ang gustong sabihin natin, so for those who are in the industry and then even other industries, dapat we now start developing, honing our skill, embracing change, and then learning the new technologies. So that
Yes.
and then this will be our qualities, our competencies in the future.
Yes.
Okay. Now, last question before I ask you for a parting message. Anong makikita mong drastic change sa hotel? Kasi you are in the hotel. Or restaurant, kasi may restaurant din kayo. Anong nakikita mong para bang we expect na mangyayari? That you are there. That you are there.
Our guests go back to us for food. Yan ang mga repeat business namin eh. They know the quality of our food. They know the
Of
cuisines
course. Diyos ka, sarap-sarap ng pagkain ninyo.
that we only can serve them. But a new factor now is really the health and safety. Mas naging tedious ang customers in terms of placing high value in terms of health and safety. Why? Because they were made aware na a simple droplet could have an impact in his or her life. So in terms of health and safety, yan po ang unang hahanapin ng mga guests natin in the new normal.
So yun talaga ma-expect natin sa restaurant.
Yes.
So, at nakikinig na, we are getting it from an expert na talagang season. So yan So from the karinderya, down to the milk tea, down to the bakery. Sinabi na ni Mr. Gatdula sa atin ang hanapin is actually health and safety. Yes. How about doon sa hotel? Talaga ang kulit-kulit ko, no? Ano naman nakikita mong, change talagang ma-feel? Wala naman.
Mr. Jesse, I can anticipate lang an eagerness for the guests to travel and do staycations again. But again, placing emphasis on health and safety protocols. Pero ako, ang nararamdaman ko lang, miss na mga tao ang mag-check-in talaga.
May naiisip ako na sinabi mo kanina, Gilbert, about technology. Di ba mag-change kayo as far as, say, booking is concerned? Hindi na pupunta doon. Lahat na siguro online booking na kayo ngayon?
Yes. Almost everyone. Parang even before the pre-COVID, Mr. Jesse, we really didn't see much the walk-in guests. So online bookings na, dyan na nabubuhay ang mga hotels ngayon. Because at the tip of your fingers, you can get discounts or you can get a hotel accommodation lesser price if you go walk-in. But in terms of the services, in terms of conveying their requests, for example, they will be asking for a room service. Gone are the days that they will be scanning the menu inside the room, they can just scan the QR code that is present in their room, and the list or the menu will be available to them already. So QR code is one of the new technologies or new affordances that we are employing to our guests. And they feel safe using it. They feel comfortable using it. Dati kasi, Sir Jesse, di ba tayo tatawag pa dial zero? It's available. It's also available. But now, in terms of the QR code, scanning the QR code, yan na ang mga hinahanap nila ngayon. Where is the QR code? I will pay for my bill. Where is the QR code? So technology and something to do with contactless payment. Yan ang isa sa mga new features na aabangan nila sa hotel.
Wala namang ma-apekto ang empleyado. Wala namang nawala ng trabaho kita.
No, it just made it easier for them. Sa amin po, like in terms of the QR payments or the different merchandises, it made it easier lang to pay and gave them different platforms to pay, but did not replace naman po. Kasi we at least for our organization, we believe that the greatest asset of our company is our people. Why? Gracious service can be given by our people.
Wow. Alam mo, Gilbs, ako na magsasabi mismo, ikaw talaga ang manager of the year sa 2021.
Salamat po, Mr. Jesse.
Listening from you, because the question that I've been asking is actually a difficult question. Trying to know if you really know what you are doing in that challenge industry. Wonderful. You're a wonderful person.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse. Parang nasa audit nga ako yung nararamdaman ko. Pero ready po tayo, sir.
Anyway, nag-overtime na tayo. Can you give us your parting message to everybody, to the HR, and of course to those the most challenged workers in the economy, the hotel and restaurant? O tingnan mo, napapaiyak ako. Kasi may mga kaibigan kaya ako, Gibbs. Bartender.
Masyadong umiyak, sir.
Wala silang trabaho ngayon, sa totoo lang. Wala silang trabaho ngayon. I will not mention the hotels, ha? Kasi yung isa sa Ortigas, yung isa dito sa Makati. Kawawa kaya.
Yes. It's really a challenging time.
Challenging time. Kaya nag-umpisa ako sa'yo. Sunod, sa construction naman, para mapaiba naman itong 7th season na ako, Bills, ha?
Yes. Congratulations sa inyo, sir. Congratulations to
I'm going to invite what do you call this, sectors in the industry sectors, and then ask them talagang pipigain ko talaga so that people just like me will know kung how it feels. Just imagine na feel ko na ngayon yung labi ng Dusit, Thani, Manila galing sa'yo.
Yes.
Ang kulit-kulit to. Pero yung tunog nandiyan pa rin, ha? The sounds are still there.
Yes. It's still here.
Huwag mong alisin. It's still there. So the sounds about the lemongrass, nandun pa rin.
Napalitan po siya ngayon ng sanitizing machine, sir. Kasi kailangan sanitary ang practices natin, eh. So may mga misting machines kami na available, sir.
Yes, very good. So now, can you give us a message for the one in the hotel industry and for everybody, please?
Just like me, I'm sure that you miss traveling, you miss dining in restaurants, you miss the beaches, and I'd like to use what my former boss would often tell me at the early onset of the pandemic. Kapit lang tayo. With such positivity and mantra, you can tell yourself that you can hold on and keep pressing on. Pangalawa, sinabi niya sa akin, if you are tasked with a difficult job, you have to remember, dyan tayo gumagaling. If you are an HR practitioner like me, na ang layo pa, dami pang matutunan, welcome it with open arms. Because we'll never know, 1 year and 2 months after that encounter, gumaling ka na. So dyan tayo gagaling. Do not let go of the fact that these challenges will help us to become a better version of us. And hopefully, soon, every one of us, Mapa Pilipino, Mapa International guests, we will wake up in the Philippines again and we will wake up in your favorite travel destination. See you there. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilberto Gatdula. Wonderful. He is a gem. I met him through PMAP mentorship program. He is a buddy. But just imagine, gem, ang lalim na nakuha natin sa kanya. He is actually my hotel manager of the year. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, they were really challenged. And you can just see how he is faring with his life and with his work. This is actually the way that it should be. I'm here confined in my room doing webinars. Gibbs in his work continue to be a TQM and an HR for her hats, actually appreciating the pandemic. And then what is the positivity for us to really embrace that challenge to change? And then, of course, for us to continue Kaizen, what you call it Kaizen, continue improving ourselves by learning technology. And with that, I think we will be ready for whatever the VUCA world is giving us, the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, the ambiguity. The new normal is challenging us. So now it is focused on the hotel and the restaurant and hotel industry, but it is for all of us. Because as I can see it, it is nested on Mr. Gilbert, nested on his authenticity, it's an individual on how he's taking, how he's faring this. The industry may matter, pero mas yung tao, yung pagkatao mo is the one that is actually ayaw tawag nun, the essence for all of these things that is happening now. So thank you, Gilbert, for sharing with us. It was
Thank
a
you.
wonderful conversation.
Thank you,
And
Mr. Jesse.
I'm very sure the HR people that will be viewing this will be inspired and will continue to what we call this, achieve, do what is actually I'm looking for the right word. What is task of us? What is the right word for us? You perform what is actually task from you. There's a term for that thing. Diba? Yung para bang you are there as an HR person, you have that responsibility, you have that accountability, then you do it. Yung nakikita ko Gilbs you perform it. Gilbs, integrity. You achieve what is expected from you. Yan ang definition ko, sarili kong definition yan, Gibbs. For just like Gibbs, ang nakikita ko sa kanya, for all HR, is for us to achieve what is expected from us. Kasi nag-HR tayo eh. People are looking at us. We should be the role models. We should handhold them. Thank you, Gibbs, for inspiring us. Tingnan mo na hinahanap ko talaga. Yes, that is your integrity. That is your authenticity in trying to help your organization and yourself. And the last one is very Mr. Universe. In time, yung sinabi ni Gilbert, all of us will be there and will be enjoying and see the Philippines that we really expected to be. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, ito po si Jesse Rebustillo, Diyos Mabalos,